Good morning. What is up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode. So if you guys are new here, my name is Paul Colson. I am a South Florida-based firefighter, also a hybrid athlete, a coach, online coach, husband, and father. Today, we're taking you to shift. I am not running this morning as I normally would. I am nursing some sort of a foot injury, which I'll kind of talk about, a little later on. But I'm assuming something like peroneal tendonitis, which has been going on since Monday. It is now Friday. So kind of just laying off of the running this week, giving some time for that to heal and pulling back a bit, deloading it out, and we're gonna mix it up and do the Peloton today for the first time. So in the apartment gym this morning, just gonna do a 30-minute ride. I'm not entirely sure how these classes go, so maybe a HIIT or some sort of a power zone, but so I'm gonna keep moving, try to get a sweat in for the next 30 minutes. I do have more of a rushed morning because Megan and Callie are out of town. So I have to take Cooper, our little golden retriever, over to my mom's house on the way to shift this morning, and then still get there in time to obviously get situated and get on the truck. So that said, welcome to the channel. We're gonna hit 30 minutes on the Peloton, first time, so let's see what this thing's got. I don't even know how to work it. So stick around. It's gonna be a jam-packed episode. We have a lot going on, not just shift today, but rolling into tomorrow morning in the afternoon as well. We've got pit games, so a whole big event leading straight from shift over to the gym that I currently coach at for our annual solo pit games, which again, we'll dive into that more. So lots to go through, lots to do on this episode. I want you guys sticking around start to finish. It should be a good one. All right, let's get this workout knocked out. So, got the bike workout done. Hopefully the recording on that was decent. I think my overall heart rate stayed roughly within the zone 2, zone 3 area. So, proves that my endurance was good and I was capable of a little bit more than I was anticipating as far as cadence and resistance and power output goes, pretty on point. The reason that I was on the bike this morning was because something happened with my foot that obviously, without an x-ray, it's kind of hard to rule out or determine definitively what that would be. But I'm assuming peroneal tendonitis, which on the side of your foot, there's a little tendon joint connection there, connecting the ankle on top of the 5th metacarpal, if I'm not mistaken. And the area is very prone to stress fractures. So initially, that's what I was imagining it was because of the pain that I was experiencing. So that worried me quite a bit. So far, it's been feeling better. So that happened on Monday. Now it's Friday. I was able to coach all of my classes last night. Actually was feeling really good last night. And then today, it's more of the same. So that's what's leading me to believe it is the perineal tendonitis versus a stress fracture, being that it has gotten better so fast. Not everything's going to be perfect. I'm in the middle of, I'm 6 weeks out now from HYROX Miami. And prior to my trip, running was on point. Now, obviously, I've had a minor setback, put me out a little bit longer. Next week, the intention, as long as my foot is continuing on this journey of healing, by Monday, I would imagine that I'm going to go back to my 3-day-a-week running, just dial it back. I'm going to go 50% of my total overall mileage, so about 25 miles a week is my normal. So cutting that down to somewhere around 12 and 13 miles for week 1 back. Dialing that between 3 days, easy tempo, and then a long. And then the following week, I should be good to jump back at 100%. Running, lifting, being an athlete, shit like this it's kind of a part of what can happen, unfortunately. Obviously, we do not want it to happen, and we do everything in our power to avoid it. I don't think I necessarily came back off of my vacation and sickness and rushed into anything. I think it just happened to be, a multitude of things that resulted in the tendonitis flare-up. So it's unfortunate. I am super thankful that it is more than likely not a stress fracture, because that would put me out 6 to 8 weeks, and that would be bye-bye to HYROX Miami. So minor setback, we dial it back. So this week I've just been prioritizing, my skiing, my rowing, I was able to do sled pushes yesterday, doing things like that to work around the injury, so that way we're still progressing forward. Also, staying active and mobile will help speed recovery when it comes to an injury. So I think it's important to listen to your body, take it slow. Next week, letting go of the ego, jumping back to 50%, then following that out with 100, and then really going full force until HYROX. That's pretty much kind of where we're at with that. So that's an unfortunate setback, but again, we're thankful that it's nothing more than that. Heading down to shift now. I'm dropping Coop Dog off at my mom's house real quick. Busy station today. Tomorrow, coming straight from shift, we're going to Pit Fitness, because we have the annual Pit solo games. We do a Pit games, which is team oriented, and then we do the solos. So basically think HYROX, right? Individuals performing at full capacity, competing between other members of the 3 different locations of the gyms that we have, and really getting after it. So it should be a good event. After that, I'm going to hit a HYROX circuit, and then we're going to wrap it out for the video. It'll be a good one. Stick around. I'll see you guys soon. So something I wanted to touch on real quick while I'm now on the way to the station is just like the mental aspect of an injury, especially in the middle of a prep, or just really an injury in general. It obviously is a scary thing, and it doesn't come without a level of like disappointment or like sense of failure. And then there's the ego side, and really having to let go of that and understand, like, this is where I'm at. This is how much time I have until, HYROX. If I don't pull back now, this could very well get worse. I would be lying if I said, injuries don't mess with your head. Of course they mess with your head. But again, like I had mentioned, it's part of the journey. It's part of the process. And sometimes it's just unavoidable. But we have to do our part to listen to our bodies and let ourselves heal, and just give ourselves some grace with that. I know I say that a lot, but it's, about giving ourselves grace and taking things for what they are, and being able to know when to pull it back. And that's really the true part of being an athlete. You can work out, you can run, you can eat well, but if you don't know how to recover, you don't know how to mentally keep yourself in the game, you don't know how to, come back off of an injury, those are elements of an athlete. Recovery is being an athlete. What a day so far. So Yeah, man, we got to the station and things got rocking and rolling pretty quickly. I was able to get my breakfast in that I did not get in on the way here or prior to leaving the house, because obviously I had to do that drop off. I mean, shortly after that, we had a little downtime where I got to kind of go over some driver's training because some of the guys had just taken the test. So that was good knowledge and information to get on board, because I'm going to be taking that course here soon for pump ops and drivers, probably in the next couple of months. Yeah, overall busy day. Not a ton of call volume itself per se, but just the length of calls and the acuity of the calls, a lot more involved. So just things just taking a lot longer to get done. Further transports, because we're having to transport to regional facilities rather than the local facilities, just due to the nature of the call itself. So long day, long day. And we're approaching dinner time. So I think it's like 5:30 now. For lunch, it was a quick rushed thing. We were able to go out of service for 15 minutes to eat. I didn't pack lunch today because I didn't have stuff at home. So we stopped at a Hispanic place around here. Rice, beans, and some spicy chicken was the goal on that. Knocked that down, and then pretty much right after that was done, we ran the next call. So busy. Something I wanted to touch on, just because I've had a lot of people asking me, and shout out to all the support or all those firefighters that are reaching out. I'm having guys from Germany, from England, from Japan, I think even one of them, and then a bunch of guys obviously from in the States as well. Just the fact that these videos are reaching so many people is awesome, and how so many of you are looking into that hybrid athlete style of training, on top of trying to become a firefighter. General case, like my transition into firefighting, and this is obviously speaking for Florida, but I think most of the states, at least in the US, do this. Not entirely sure how it's structured overseas, but starting with the EMT program, I did the EMT first, and then after that, I had already been training for a long time and physically active. So the high intensity stuff prior to going into Fire Academy had me in a good position to become class lead and really excel in the training and running physical portions of those. But if I had to recommend, because this is what I've been getting questions on, kind of how to prepare, and it's really just dialing in the cardio. I think the hybrid style of training is great for it. There are movement specific things like Stairmaster, swings, and just really getting used to carrying load, farmer's carries and things like that, to where you're doing work but with load on your back, whether it's a weight vest or whatever the case may be. Getting used to carrying load through different movements. But again, the Stairmaster and things like that are going to be crucial. And just building that aerobic endurance as well as just muscular endurance and strength overall. That hybrid style of training, HIIT style of training, is going to really get you dialed in and prepared for that, aside from the specifics. And we just got another call. So yeah, I will see you guys, who knows, tomorrow.
Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go. I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen
Yes,
this.
I am drinking a Celsius at 8 o'clock in the morning. 24 hours is a wrap. We got a couple, maybe an hour or two of some mellow time, which was nice, but then the nighttime hits. For me, that's the worst part. And luckily, this department that I work for, you have stations that are more slower in nature versus, the one that I'm currently at. That's more likely than not, you're going to have a brutal night of calls after midnight and things like that. But that's kind of the worst part for me, is the broken sleep aspect of the job. Parents might understand this a little bit more, especially with newborns and, toddlers that keep you up throughout the night. But even that, it's a different ball game. You're not waking up, to an alarm or a tone going off in the room. Heart rate's at, a minimal resting rate. And then that tone goes off and you're immediately going into a fight or flight mode where your heart rate's spiking to, 80, 90, 100, whatever the case is. I've never even checked that. So that would be something to look into. But that spike in heart rate over time does play a role. And I'm pretty sure there are studies out there that kind of indicate why that plays a role into cardiovascular disease and things like that, just that wear and tear on the heart over time from that abrupt nights and abrupt wake-ups throughout the night. That is, for me, probably the biggest downside of the fire department and just being in the fire service in general, but it is part of the job that you sign up for. As much as I'd like to say you get used to it, you don't really get used to it. You just get used to understanding that you have a job to do and getting up and getting out the door. The first tone dropped at 11:30. I probably slept 2 hours from 12 to 2. About 2 o'clock, we had the next call come in. We got back to the station probably around 3. I slept 3 to 4. We had another one at 4. And then right after that, we had another one, because that was a little bit more of a lengthy call. The last one that we had this morning ended up finishing around, I think we got back to the station at like 7:15 so we basically got back, cleaned up the truck real quick, and then got our shit off and did a pass down, and that was about it. It was a go shift, and 3 hours of sleep is what we're rocking today. I'll probably throw my Garmin stats up here so you guys can check out just from a metric standpoint what that looks like. But I am drinking that Celsius now on the way to the pit event, so going right into work. The goal is to get that HYROX session done afterwards. I might tone it back a little bit just based on where I'm at with my sleep and recovery, and I haven't eaten yet, so we'll snack, and there's a place next door I might try to grab something to eat. But busy night, busy day in general, a lot of high acuity calls, strokes, level 2s, cardiac related issues, bradycardia, heart blocks. Definitely give you a workout mentally. I'm still grateful for it. I'm blessed to have the job, and I'm blessed to have the time off that I have to be able to do the things that I can and, have the opportunity to help others and do all those things. If I wasn't in the position as a firefighter, I wouldn't have the ability to be a trainer and have all this extra free time off duty to be able to kind of pursue other things. So it does have that benefit as well. But just like any career, it's going to have its positives and negatives, and sleep for me is definitely the negative. We're going to drive it to shift. I'm going to turn on some music and get the mind right, bring some energy to it because we got some coaching to do. We'll show you some snippets of the pit solo game, so stay tuned for that. HYROX workout coming up so long as I'm still alive, and then we're going to close this thing out. So I'll catch you guys in a bit.
Buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner talking home run, touchdown. Buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner like all in. Lit the fire when you got it, now I'm all in. Put me with the best, bring the stars in. Undefeated mode, no falling. Doubt it when I lost, slide back when I win. Fade and pay the cost, but I rose so thick and thin. Battles in the scars, see them on my skin. They tried to knock me out, but I'ma fight it to the end, and there's no days out. I'm just resting up a little, no it pays out. I'm just stuck up in the middle, not some weight out. I've been carrying for years, and I'm not worried, I got no fear. Home run, touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner talking home run, touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner like all in.
All right. Well, it's been a hell of a 2 days. As you can probably already tell, the HYROX workout that I was supposed to get in after the pit games, which was a great turnout, by the way, did not go as planned. I ended up having to play paramedic off duty today. So unfortunately, one of the last events to go, or last heats to go in today's pit games, one of the athletes, suffered severe dehydration, borderline rhabdo, which is basically just electrolyte imbalance, which severely affects the kidneys. or can severely affect the kidneys and lead ultimately to renal failure. I found him, in the bathroom after everything was all said and done. He was still profusely sweating. This was an hour after the fact. And luckily we had a company there that was still doing IVs, and I was able to grab the nurse and have her leave a bag with me or 2 bags of fluids. There were 500 bags, so about 1,000 mLs. She was able to leave with me so we could get some fluids on board after she headed out. He was, weak, nauseous, throwing up, not in a good position, very pale. And ultimately what happened was, I had to stay, help out with that. After the event was done, did not decide to work out. I monitored him after we got the fluids on board. He gained color in his face again, was a little bit more alert. I'm not on duty, so ultimately he decided not to go to the hospital and find an alternative route, and I left him in the hands of some dear friends. Dropped him off at the house, informed them as to what was going on, and we're gonna check on him here shortly. So after that was all said and done, after I had dropped him off, the Pit Games after party was at a place called Bounce here in Delray area. Yeah, I was running behind with that, so I had to go grab Cooper from Mom's house, bring him back up here, quickly change, and head out. Went over and just got back. It's now 6:30. I got back at 6, so we were out there for about 2.5 hours. And it's very interesting how, seasons of life develop and change, right? Once upon a time, the night owl that I used to be, and I used to heavily drink, but also heavily train, and there was just no balance or coordination to any of it. And it was a very exploration style period of my life that, those things develop into who you become. And I'm not proud of a lot of the things that I did in those times, but there's a lot of good memories and things that come out of it as well. So it's just interesting how seasons change, you develop as a person, and life just kind of unfolds in different ways. And I guess that's the beauty of it, right? You're not guaranteed every single day, and you have to make the most of every single day, but you also can't hang in the past or live in the past, and you have to embrace where you are now. Find the beauty of it all. I had 2.5 hours out there and really just got to catch up with a lot of the members and communicate and have good conversation. And after 2 hours, my tank, which was already on E from the 3 hours of sleep last night on shift, slowly diminished. And at that point I was like, I'm heading home and we're gonna go kick it with Coop. So now I am prepping up some dinner for myself. We have the rice already done, some jasmine rice. And then in the Instapot, we got 11 minutes left on the ground beef. Something I wanted to touch base on because I had it with me today and it was something I wanted to share. Tasty Gains, a company based out of Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, was nice enough to send me some of their supplements. They're gummies. So gummy-based supplements. This one, Tasty Gains, is a pre-workout. Sustained energy, insane pumps, power and endurance. Cool thing is each one of these has, so a serving size is 2 gummies. You've got 400 milligrams, so 200 milligrams in each one. So my plan today was to take one of them prior to my lift. And I actually did take the creatine gummy this morning when I left the station, just to make sure I got my creatine in because I knew I was gonna have a crazy day. And flavor on both of these things is great. If you want to check them out, tastygains.com, you guys can find those. But yeah, the flavor is great. And if you're not someone that wants to carry around a shaker or other supplements like that in a powder format, or just don't like the powder format in general, I think it's a very great way to get that in because they taste great and the serving size allows you to have not just one of them. So definitely check them out, give them a look, give them a shout out. As the night dwindles down, eat some dinner, kick it, and I'm gonna start editing this bad boy up. The goal is to get it up by Sunday, but being that the tank is on very low, we'll see how much I get before I fall asleep. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, as always, please go ahead and drop that like, subscribe, keep following along. We are feeling better with the foot. as of today, I'm hoping by next week we'll be back full steam, and we're approaching that 8 or 6 week mark prior to HYROX. So I'm thinking of starting a kind of HYROX based series, still firefighter stuff, but more HYROX focused, going into, you know, what we're looking at. So the training as we approach this 6 week mark, once we hit full steam for the HYROX prep, is going to be a total body strength HYROX based finish. Tuesday being a tempo interval run. Wednesday is going to be another total body strength HYROX based finish. Thursday is going to be in my easy run. Friday or Saturday is going to be a strength and engine builder. And then ideally, you know, this obviously fluctuates depending on my schedule, but Saturday or Sunday would be the long run. So 3 total body strength plus HYROX, and then 3 runs as well, building speed and tempo and, you know, getting myself right. That is what we're looking at. If you guys are interested in that, I want you to drop comments below and, you know, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know if you want to see that HYROX specific prep a little bit more in detail as we approach it, you know, how this training's going, what we're training, and really digging into the nutrition bit a little bit more. So embrace the seasons, guys. Seasons are constantly changing. Where you are right now is not where you're going to be forever. So do not feel discouraged if this is not where you want to be at this current time. All right. Everything has its purpose. All right. I hope you guys liked the episode, and stay tuned. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Down, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner.